Of course, if you know the first thing about motor cars and Italian motor cars, you'll know that one of the biggest names in Italy is that of Giugiaro. Italdesign Giugiaro, probably the world's most famous car designer. And somebody who wants to steal his crown is one Fabrizio Giugiaro, who, if I'm not mistaken, is the son of the legendary Fabrizio. Giorgetto, sorry.
Yeah.
Whenever I see, or as you call him, father, whenever I see you, you're always surrounded by beautiful women.
And also sometimes beautiful car. Sometimes.
What's more important, the beautiful women or the beautiful cars?
I think the beautiful women are still important.
I think that says it all. Huh? Tell us about this car you've got here. This is the only genuinely new product you have at the Turin Motor Show.
Yes, for the 30 years old of this company, we realized this prototype called Structura.
Structura.
Structura, from Latin. And it is a synthesis of 30 years of research in field of prototypes and also in mass production. We have done 60 different prototypes in these 30 years and about 50 production cars. So here there is something we thought in these last years.
What have you managed to see around the show? I know you've been here on the Ital Design stand for most of the show, but have you seen anything else out there? Does anything appeal to you that you've seen?
But I think Multipla from Fiat is a very interesting idea, very close, we can say, of these comps. I mean, a car very comfortable, a car that has a very big glass in order to show the panorama around you when you are driving the car. So I think this is a nice proposal.
And tell me what sort of projects Ital Design are working on these days. Traditionally, you always used to work for companies like Volkswagen. You're still working for Volkswagen with the W12. And the Koreans, are you still involved with them?
Yes, we are working really for the Asian market, the European, and of course Italy, etc. We're working not very much for USA, and we have just opened a company there in order to improve our business there.
And what do you think of the state of design around the world? Are you optimistic? Are you pleased with the shape of cars? Or do you think that we're going through a good patch, a bad patch?
No, generally there are very interesting cars today on the road. If I have to buy the car, I have to say I'm really, I don't know, because you can find many different things. Of course, there are also some cars not so nice, but the market is very completed now.
What do you think about the current Ferrari range?
Also, Ferrari has done a lot of wonderful cars as usual. They now have two cars with a front engine, mid-front engine, that are very interesting. I think also Ferrari is answering very well to the public.
Yeah, you think though they should be a little bit more adventurous?
I think what they are doing today is in the is correct for their logo, so in the tradition, but also advance in the mechanics and in the styling.
Okay. Now the W12 we featured when we did our program from the Tokyo Motor Show. For me, that was one of the stars of the show. And then we have the Roadster. I understand both cars are going to go into limited production.
This is something that the president of Volkswagen, Mr. Pierre, would like to have. We are doing a calculation with them if it's possible to produce these two cars in Ital Design, then in our company, for the 2000.
And it's fair to say that those cars are your babies, as it were?
I have to say are two cars made in Ital Design. I'm responsible of the styling center, so are made under my direction. But
now I know you're probably fed up hearing questions about your father, but how involved is your dad these days? Is he still involved with the day-to-day running of the company?
Absolutely, absolutely. Luckily, he once is a fan of cars and he likes his job. With his help, I used to say, for me it's like Ronaldo in a team. I cannot work without someone like him. So he's anyway involved directly every day on our job.
Okay, but when do you take over?
Him?
When do you take over from your father?
Never.